Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons show. I will have some announcements and a recap for all of you, but before we dive into any of that, Nick, would you go ahead and kick off a round of telling the fine listeners / viewers who all of you are?
Sure. Hi, I'm Nick, and I play Embers of White Ash, Sunsoul Tabaxi Monk.
Hi, I'm Kay. I play Lady Elwyn Amalos, who is the Arctic Circle of the Land Druid.
Hello there, I'm Melissa, and I play Tuppence Wiseacre, the wee little pixie bard.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I play Vert, who is the Changeling Armor Artificer.
I'm Jordan. I'm playing Yerdade Rod, the Orc Life Cleric.
That's everyone. Before I dive into the Antiheroes Anonymous announcements, Jordan, if you've got stuff to talk about, here's your moment.
Yeah, I've got the same two things as last time's. My show Riverwood opening on May 20th at the Langston Hughes Center in Seattle. It's a co-production between the Langston Hughes Center and Seattle Public Theater, and the show's running for like 6 weeks, so there's time to see it. And then also the D&D show that I am in. Dice Jailers, we're just calling it the Dice Jailers campaign because no good names came to mind. And we do our episodes on Twitch at 6 p.m. on Fridays, and then they debut on YouTube on Mondays at noon when I remember to do the switch thing from Twitch to YouTube.
The good news about sticking with Dice Jailers for the name of the campaign is branding. You got it.
Truth.
Anyways, those announcements, we'll rush through those, and then we'll just start playing. We premiere our episodes on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items, as well as a custom pixie lineage, so be aware of that as you're watching. Our character portraits, which you'll see kind of all over the layout, for example, on the info cards for each of the characters, were drawn by an artist named Krista Porter, who goes by @KristaPorter with 2 R's on the end on Twitter. If you need a refresher on anything that is going on in this campaign, we have a campaign wiki at World Anvil, where I have finally updated the story so far page with information about the Fimir arc so far, so you can get up to date quick there. Other than that, you can check the video description for links and information to everything I just mentioned and more, including some links to Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate resources. And then you can follow us on Twitter at AntiheroesAnon to find out more about when we're doing what and what it is we're doing. And finally, we just hope you enjoy the show, share it with your friends, and come back to watch some more. So, with all of that out of the way, let's roll the intro video. Welcome back. Previously on Antiheroes Anonymous, the Silver Seekers, which is the name of the party, have been making a stop in Fimir, the capital of the state of Sergil, on their way to their new keep up in Amberhearth. While at a lavish inn run by a cousin of Nora Froth-Tankard's named Tashawn Froth-Tankard, they met Yerdade Rod, an Orcish cleric of Bahamut. As they did some research at the Argent Athenaeum, I think, yeah, Stratos' foremost library, a strange woman named Esme recruited the party to recover her confiscated spaceship and her alien partner, Yerp, sort of blowing the party's brains in the process. to the existence of life off the planet. Anyways, all of this kind of got sidetracked a little bit when a old nemesis of the party named Kashura, who is a member of the League of Terrors, revealed herself, and it came out that the League of Terrors are also hunting for Esme for their own nefarious purposes. The party thwarted one attempt to kidnap her, but the pressure is on at the moment to get Esme what she needs before the League of Terrors strikes again. And that is where we left off. Since it's been a while for us, we had a little break. I will do a little bit more of a thorough reminder of this specific scene for you guys. Kashura had led you away from the loud crowds and general raucous atmosphere of Alen'dal's premier romance novel convention, RomCon, to a more secluded section of the library that is hosting this event. There, she revealed to Embers, who got there first, that they were after Esme. A fight ensued. It looked like it was going bad for Kashura, so she used a gauntlet, a new gauntlet on her arm to disintegrate a hole in the roof, and then was sucked upward into some sort of living squid-like spaceship via some sort of tractor beam, managing to escape, leaving the group of you surrounded by the metallic sentinels that guard the library and the vast collection of knowledge that is gathered here. However, I believe Vert and Embers and Esme kind of managed to get away, with Vert pulling Embers away, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes.
Yeah, Embers is still paralyzed, I think. Or
Okay.
Stunned, I guess.
I think it was more incapacitated, like you're just kind of out of it. But yeah. In any case, Vert pulled Embers away, and Esme kind of went with that crew. The rest of you are pretty much just surrounded by a group of these metallic sentinels. A few more have come. Initially, there were just 3, but a couple more have come. And they kind of just, in their sort of robotic AI voice, commanded you to just kind of wait here, and then seem to have gone silent for the moment. Which group do you guys want to start with? I could go either way. Between Vert, Embers, Esme, and the rest of everybody.
I'll go.
Okay.
So, if I remember correctly, Embers is she incapacitated from the Sentinels?
Yeah, the Sentinels unleashed like a mist that kind of spread out through the entire room, and that mist basically it made it so that no one could continue fighting who failed the saving throw. So
can Embers talk and
Yeah, she can, but I think she'd be a little sluggish. Okay. So you probably would have to pull her a little ways, but then she could probably move on her own after that.
All right, so I guess once we're around the corner, do I notice?
And it only
Esme?
lasts about a minute. So
okay, do I notice Esme with us?
Roll a perception
went
check.
invisible, so we don't know exactly where Esme is.
I will roll
a perception check while I go grab some dice.
Sure. That's not very good, so I probably don't notice her, but let's find out. Let's see. Yeah, that's only a 9, so probably not.
Only how many?
I got a 9.
9. I'll roll something to be safe. Yeah. You unfortunately don't know where Esme is, but as you kind of pull Embers away, you don't get too far before you hear a whisper right near you that says, I'm right here, Coco. I'm with you too.
Yeah, so I'm looking for her, and then I try and is it? I don't know. I kind of grab onto her shoulders and look at her, and then ask her something. I don't know if I'm able to do that or not.
She's invisible, but
right.
If you want to make a grasp,
yeah,
you could make we'll do this coordination, just a dexterity check at disadvantage.
Sure. All right. Oh, that's a natural 20 and a 16 on die, so maybe I got her. So that's 17 total with my dexterity.
Yeah, you reach out and
So right when I hear the voice, I'm just
as if to grab in that direction, and your left hand, which you were trying to get around like her left shoulder, bumps what you think might be her right shoulder. Your other hand catches air, but then you're able to like readjust, and you think you've grabbed like her shoulders.
So
What are you-
right.
huh?
What? Who are those people? Why do they want you? Why are we in danger because of this? What's happening? There has to be something else.
I've never seen that woman before in my life.
Why do they want
oh.
you?
But right, I did see. I mean, you saw the thing up above, right?
Yeah.
The place where she went.
Yeah.
They probably want me because, well, so I mentioned that I'm part of a group. A very specific group with a purpose, and our purpose is to hunt things like them. So they probably perceive me as a threat. I would guess that's the reason.
And you had no idea they were here? Like
Well, I didn't
around
think
this
they followed
premises?
me. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
you saw in my memory that they were the ones who caused me to crash, but
I mean, I didn't realize they would like pursue you afterwards.
I didn't realize that either.
Oh gosh. And so I'll let her go. But I'm like clearly frustrated that, this is all happening and that we're in danger. What was that, Embers?
What's happening? What?
And I like look at Embers. Is she like just leaning against the wall now and sliding
She'd
down or
probably
something?
be like a little dazed. She's not that bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try and like maybe shake her out of it a little bit. Does anything doesn't
Come
work?
on, Embers, snap out of it. You hear like
Yeah.
Esme clicking.
What's happening? What happened? Where's
That's
everybody?
what I'm trying to figure out. They're finding their own way out right now.
Ooh.
We should probably go as well and meet up with everybody.
Okay. Right.
What do you, where should we go? What are we doing?
Well, we need to stick together because if anything else happens, we need to at least, we don't want to split up.
That makes sense.
But if we do get separated, I feel like I have a pretty good shot at getting out of here undetected.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I could probably get out
Well,
undetected
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of like looks over at Coco.
Roll his eyes. All right. Well, that's fine. But we should probably at least, if we have to get separated, if we're gonna get separated, we should at least have a meeting point and try and
Right.
establish
Good-
that with
good
everybody
call.
else. So, do you want to meet on this, in this building somewhere, or
Let's meet at the costume vendor.
the costume vendor? Okay.
There were a lot of those.
Oh, there were a lot.
The one,
Yeah.
the first one that we saw in the entry area, or
What would be a good landmark that we would have passed that we could have said?
I mean, any one of the like surrounding towers around the main building, or the main entrance that you came in, or I mean, there's like a gardens surrounding the library, so there could be like a fountain or something like that in there.
I think we want to go outside because I'm pretty sure because of this damage now, this place gonna be swarming with.
I would also like to go
Okay.
outside.
So let's go outside somewhere. How about what do we have outside? Like, is there like a fountain or something, or like just a?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a square not too far away that would have a fountain.
Let's go to that square that's not too far away that has a fountain.
All right. So I guess we make our stealth checks to try and get out of here undetected, huh?
Sure. Yeah.
I need to check
See
a
how Esme
spell.
does. Oh yeah,
first.
Esme.
Mm-hmm.
Esme rolled an 18 on dice plus some, so she's good.
This is also pretty good. I got a 23.
Nice.
1 second. Okay, so let me see. You're pointing your finger range. Okay, question about the spell message.
Mhm.
This says point a finger towards a creature within range. It doesn't say you have to see them. Is that true?
That's true.
Yeah, as long as you know like their general
Okay.
location, which in this case you do.
So I'm gonna send messages to all the Silver Seekers and to your dad in there and say we're going to be outside and explain the area that we're gonna go to. Okay, and then I'll do
Sounds
my stealth
good.
check. Yep. So I got a 17.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. All of your attempts to sneak are aided by the fact that once you get back to the main convention area, it becomes pretty clear that the ruckus of your fight has disrupted almost the entire con. Like a bunch more of those metallic sentinels have come out, and they're supplemented by like a few Imperial wardens. And they basically seem to be urging people to sort of leave the library. And there's like a big, hectic crowd kind of funneling out of the convention. And so the Imperial wardens are shouting things like, there's been a slight incident. This will all be taken care of and wrapped up by tomorrow. Second day of RomCon will resume as intended. There will be updated flyers and brochures for when events are rescheduled to. You can find those at the entrance tomorrow morning. And like they're basically just ushering people out, and you guys kind of get swept up into that crowd.
Yeah, that's good.
Could you all also make a perception check for me?
Well, second natural 20 of the night, I guess.
Oh, snap.
After this, these two, and your last session, I think we need a dice cam on Zach.
Did I get natural 20s last time?
You got like 3 last
Was
session.
it me or someone else? I didn't think I got them. Did I?
I got a lot as Torin.
Maybe.
Last
Okay,
session,
but
I remember
mean,
that.
I'm happy
Maybe
to
it
do
was-
that.
Maybe they were all spread around the party. I remember there being a lot of nat 20s last session.
Yeah,
So
I'm-
Kashura rolled really bad, but then Torin rolled really well for me. I remember that.
I just shot magic missiles. I didn't have to do any. I just rolled d4s. Anyways, yeah. So perception, that's a 24.
24. Okay. And how did Embers do?
17.
17. Okay, so both of you would probably see this. I'll give Vert a little bit more. One thing you both see, which probably a few other people in the crowd see, but there's so much chaos that like it's not like everyone sees it. But you see the clouds above the library sort of coming from behind it, part briefly as a draconic form with white scales begins descending in this direction. But it looks like it's doing like it's trying to approach the library without being seen by everyone. Like it's using like the glare from the sun and the cloud cover to try and get as close as possible before like dipping down. But you can see the arrival of a dragon you've seen before named Krylide, bearing a single rider, who Vert, with that excellent perception check, you can make out as the familiar sort of bald, tattooed, one-armed Goliath form of Kashura, swooping down toward, not Kashura, sorry, Kalea,
Okay.
my KA names. I messed them up a lot back in the Horizon Shroud arc. I remember that. Swooping down in this direction on the back of a dragon and sort of going to land behind the library. The other thing, Vert, that you notice that Embers doesn't really notice is kind of intermingled among the Imperial Wardens that are kind of supplementing the Metallic Sentinels in getting this, crowd to go one direction. You see a few of those sort of specialized Dragonborn troops that you saw before with like, like the heavy plate armor
and the wings
and the wings and stuff.
Yeah.
And among them, you see that one that seemed to be the leader, the one of them that didn't have wings, in like the resplendent black, gold, and red full plate armor covering sort of the entirety of their Dragonborn face. And you see these people, unlike the Wardens who are sort of focused on pushing people kind of out of the area, these people are going in towards the library.
If I wanted to do like a sleight of hand on the leader one and like put something on in his hands or something, would that happen? Could that happen?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me think about it for a sec.
Okay.
I have a minute.
We'll go over to the other party and give you some time to think. You guys are kept waiting for what feels like a long time, with a lot of these metallic sentinels kind of just staring at you. And anytime like one of you moves, even a little bit, one of the metallic sentinels will kind of say in that sort of feminine AI voice, please wait. The silvered seneschal has been summoned. And we'll just kind of like motion to keep you where you are.
Do they react if we're just talking, or are they mainly worried about
They're
something?
mostly quiet, but like if you move in the direction of like any of the exits, even if you're just like readjusting, they'll just say this and they'll kind of like hold their arms up.
How are Tuppence and Torin and your dad looking health-wise after that combat?
I was gonna ask the same question. Because if we're
Tepe's-
waiting for a while, your dad is just gonna sit down, and clutch his holy symbol, and I'm just gonna cast Prayer of Healing if we're just waiting anyway.
Great. Great.
So
Great.
everybody can get 2d8 plus 4.
That will probably be all Torin needs, but we'll see how much you roll.
Did you say 8 plus 4?
2d8 plus 4.
Oh, okay. So you haven't rolled it yet, or we
Yeah,
roll
it
it.
takes 10 minutes to cast it. Should I roll for everybody, or do you want everyone to roll
Just roll
separately?
one and use it, I think.
Okay. Let's go.
Unless it's bad, I don't know.
No, it's pretty great.
Okay, good.
Let's see. Yeah, it's 15 points. So
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So we divide that amongst ourselves.
no,
you
like
take
it's
the whole
it's
thing.
yeah,
Ah.
up to 6 creatures around me get that healing each.
Sweet,
Yeah,
thank
that,
you.
that puts Torin
just
all the way
takes
back
10
up to
minutes.
maximum. So
Me too.
It just takes 10 minutes. So
probably around the time you're done casting that, and healing up
Does it
the
count as a short rest? Are we waiting long enough?
not a
that it
short
counts as a
rest.
short-
No.
Okay. Dang it. Okay.
Probably around the time you're done spending the 10 minutes to cast that, though, a familiar pair of people come into the room. One of them is about as flustered as you've ever seen him. It's Marble. He seems to have just like lost his cool entirely. Like he blusters into this room, I would say. But he's accompanied by Senior Steward Ilanis Iron Tome as well. I think that's her last name. Let's double check. Yes, Ilanis Iron Tome as well. And they both come into the room and kind of make their way past the line of metallic. That's the word I've been using. The constructs, and approach Yurdod. And Marble just kind of like surveys the scene and like leans back against a bookshelf and like looks up through the hole in the ceiling and just goes, ugh. But Ilanis kind of like pulls up a stool and sits down on it next to Yurdod and kind of like, puts her hands together and kind of rests her chin on it. Yurdod, what happened here?
well, I was with the whole group, but you remember they call themselves the Silver Seekers. They're pretty great.
She kind of looks at the group of you who are here.
And while we were enjoying the convention as normal, well, our notice was drawn to some suspicious things happening over in this area. And well, we stopped an attempted kidnapping. The kidnappee seemed to have fled, and so did the attempted kidnapper through the hole in the ceiling.
She looks up at the ceiling and she says, convention business as normal, huh?
Well, that's what we were getting up to, and then well, I wasn't gonna let something suspicious happen in the library, and oh, good thing we didn't.
I have a feeling that the Seneschal is going to want to hear all of this again from you, but who was being kidnapped? And weren't there more of these Silver Seekers. She kind of looks around the group. I don't think I got the names of everyone, but I remember there being more than, and she does a quick count who's here. It's just Elwyn and Tuppence of the Silver Seekers and Torin. I remember there being more than 3.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
in your
well-
dad's defense, he really did a good job protecting the books. No book was harmed.
Yeah, again, she glances up towards the ceiling where a bookshelf or 2 is like disintegrated straight through. On this floor, it seems.
I did my best, but well, can't really stop something of that caliber. There was a big ship with a bunch of tentacle thingies in it, and that was weird.
I'm sorry?
Also, yeah, honestly, I wouldn't believe me either, because I didn't really believe it while it was happening.
She looks to Marble and he just does like the sort of like hand spinning by the head sign for crazy. But she turns back to you and she says, "Your dad, in all the years I've worked with you, you're a lot of things, but you're certainly not a liar. So I believe you. I don't understand, but I believe you."
I understand it's completely wild. It was a lot of weirdness the entire combat.
What he said.
She points back towards the hole in the ceiling and kind of looks around to the group of you and says, "This in particular, that wasn't any of you, right?"
Of course not.
No.
Okay. I'm going to go talk to the Silvered Seneschal before they arrive here, and we'll be back. Sit tight. And she
That's
leaves.
going- I can put us in a zone of truth if I know it sounds crazy, but it might be less crazy.
She kind of shakes her head and waves you off and says, No, I believe you. I believe you. The question is just what it all means. And she kind of strides out. And as she does so, she's like, "And where on earth are my glasses?" And you can all see that they're like totally on top of her head, but she just strides out. Marble sticks around with a group of you, and he kind of looks to Yurdod and says, "You pretty much ruined entire day 1 of the convention, right? They had to evacuate everyone."
I mean, I didn't ruin it. The lady that was trying to kidnap the young lady and the big thing that blew a hole through the ceiling did.
Yeah, the lady who's not here trying to kidnap the young lady who's not here who blew a hole in the ceiling. Sure. And then he goes to walk away just like, so frustrated.
Tuppy sticks her tongue out at him as he leaves.
I reckon if his attitude's like that, he's trying to blame the meteor that crashed into the library on you too, huh, your dad?
He actually did say that once, and everyone laughed, but he did not like that they were laughing.
What pleasurable company.
Oh, Marble's harmless.
I mean, yeah, in Marble's defense, this is something your dad would know. He's particularly stressed right now because facilitating the convention being hosted here at the library was kind of his job. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I wonder how Embers is holding up after all that happened. Kind of ruined the first day of the rom-com for her too.
Well, we'll have to ask her about it later when we get out of this.
Would we have received the message by now?
Oh, yeah. You would have gotten that message pretty early on, before your dad even did the healing spell.
Okay. Think it's okay to leave now?
Do you want to try?
It's hanging around here.
Well, you'd be easiest to make an escape, I reckon, if you want to try it. Because you're so little, Tuppy.
Are they still holding us here after she came and talked to us?
The metallic guardians are still kind of circled around you, seemingly watching you, but holding pretty still.
Well, let's see if I'll try to move toward the door and see what they do.
Please remain where you are. The Silvered Seneschal has been summoned.
What
Yeah,
is
whenever
the
that
Silvered
happens,
Seneschal
you just
anyway?
kind of have to wait.
What is the Silvered Seneschal anyway? What is it just like the special forces or something?
Did I give you notes on that, Jordan?
Let me check through. I don't think you gave me them written down, but I think you said a couple things once.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I can just tell the party, or tell you, and then you can word vomit that back. The Silvered Seneschal is the title of sort of like the highest office within the Argent Athenaeum. The Silvered Seneschal is kind of like in charge of this library, and then the senior stewards are the rank underneath, and that's where Ilanis is, and then the regular stewards, which is like Marble, are underneath the senior stewards.
Yeah, so it's just kind of my boss's boss's boss. And I don't know how many Silvered Seneschal there are, but I'm hoping it's Ardrix.
Yeah, why is that?
Oh, they're just really cool.
Cool as in like interesting and chic,
Well,
or cool as in like laid back and easy to get along with?
That kind of depends on the day, but it's just not every day that you see a copper dragonborn around.
I see.
It isn't long before, indeed, a copper dragonborn enters the room through one of the doors. This copper dragonborn is wearing the regular stewards kind of have these rather plain robes. Ilanis's have a little bit more decoration, ornamentation. This Silvered Seneschal's robes seem like a step up from that, but still within sort of the general motif. This dragonborn's scales are basically so like tarnished greenish that you can instantly tell that they are an individual of incredible age. And they approach and kind of Ilanis is with them, and she kind of pulls up a seat for this dragonborn to sit on, and they've got kind of a cane that they walk with, and they sit down, kind of cross the cane over their legs, and kind of slowly takes a look at the group of you and says, "So, you're these silver seekers then, eh?"
Well, half of us anyway.
Hmm. And where are the rest of you, the other half?
Got lost in the chaos after the fight, I think.
Hmm. Well, I should like to speak with all of them. I am, to provide some introduction, I am Ardrix. You can call me Silvered Seneschal or simply Ardrix or whatever you prefer. I am sort of like the boss around here, I suppose.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I wish it could be under better circumstances. My name is Lady Elwyn Amelos, heir to House Amelos, Minister of the Old Faith and Shepherd of the Tundra.
A lot of people who you meet don't seem to like understand the gravity of your titles, but Ardrix gives you like a very low bow, with probably sort of like a hand flourish that you recognize as like an elven sign of respect or something like that. It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, Lady Elwyn Amelos, and I take it the small pixie one is the Miss Tuppence I've heard about.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Tuppy.
And you must be Yurdod and your son.
Hello.
Well, they kind of survey the damage of the ceiling and look back to the group of you. Senior Steward Ilanis assures me that none of this, and they gesture up towards it, is any of your doing, and that you were seeking to root out some suspicious behavior of individuals here in the library, seeking to protect some individual from kidnapping, which is all well and good, and I appreciate you doing this away from the rest of the convention goers where no one else got hurt. It seems that all of you are in fine health, so that is good to see as well. But I must ask, the kidnapper and the would-be kidnappee, they both escaped?
I am going to take the liberty of answering your question with another question.
By all
Have you,
means.
by chance, heard of something called the League of Terrors?
Ardrix, their eyes kind of light up, and they've got these kind of brownish eyes, but you can, and they're like, they kind of have the skin above the eyes, the scales there kind of like droop a little bit with age, but there's like you could see like a youthful flare come into their eyes when you say that. And Ardrix says, yes, in fact, I am aware of this group. Our legate tasked me and a few others with looking into them upon her return from Port Horizon Shroud not too long ago, where she thwarted or assisted in thwarting, well, an incident there involving the group. In
Yes, we are
fact,
quite familiar with that incident in question.
Ardrix nods and says, I thought that it might be you who were also involved with that.
And this runaway kidnapper is the same woman who attempted to steal the dragon eggs back in Port Horizon Shroud.
I see.
We
Well,
managed
it
to
seems
chase her
this
off, but
kidnapper must have an affinity for the group of you then.
I think this was just a lucky coincidence this time around, I'm afraid.
Yep.
When you spend your life in scholarship, as I have, you start to see fewer and fewer things as coincidences. I should like to meet this would-be kidnappee and speak with them to learn why this group may have targeted them and see if
Well-
they have any information that can further our investigation.
I wish the same thing. Unfortunately, she also vanished. We have no idea what happened to her or who she was.
Can you make a deception check real quick?
Sure. Well, I mean, it's only a half lie. It's mostly true. Mostly true. I don't know who
like
she is.
To help
I don't
just by
Know who
saying,
she is.
I'd like to just help action just by saying, like, yeah, she's really good at being invisible.
Okay.
She did go invisible. I have no idea where she is right now.
I
And
think
don't
it's
know
still a
who she
deception
is.
check, though.
You were told where she's going.
Yeah.
I was told where she's going. I don't know where she is
Yeah,
right now.
That's true.
Just
I
saying.
mean, Kay, you know it's a deception check, though, right?
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying. I'm trying to keep it as close to the natural fucking 20.
No
Keep
way.
that shit.
Get that camera
I
over
rolled-
there.
I rolled a 19.
No, I
rolled
believe
a
you. I believe you. You don't
19
need to
and
show
a
me.
20. Look at
Oh,
that.
snap.
Wow.
Jesus.
Nice job.
So eat that.
Um,
So that's a total of 23.
Okay. You can see, I mentioned that kind of like youthful vigor that entered into Ardrix's eyes when you had mentioned League of Terrors. That seems to dull a little bit.
Listen,
Ah.
what happened is my compatriots and I, we caught sight of Kashura, the attacker. We recognized her and we followed her. And when she discovered that she'd been followed, she attacked us. We don't know anything more than that, except that she was apparently after a target and had to leave before she could acquire it.
Well,
Oh, and tentacle thing.
yes, that was my next line of inquiry.
Yes, we are just as
The
surprised
senior
about that
steward
as you are.
mentioned this, and I would like to get a description from all of you if possible. And Ardrix motions another figure forward who basically comes with a sketch pad. And basically Ardrix just tries to get you to kind of describe what you saw. And then the artist kind of tries to sketch it out.
So Teppy grabs it and just starts drawing herself.
Yeah, that warrants an eyebrow raise from like from Ardrix, but from Ilanis, like eyes go wide and like she looks at Ardrix for like any reaction. But Ardrix seems to allow it, and so she calms down a little bit. Why don't you make a dexterity check with proficiency? Because I mean, it would be a performance dexterity check, and you have performance, so.
It's a +7, so it's a 12. I rolled pretty bad.
The other artist is looking over your shoulder, and she seems to be like a young human woman, and you can see that she pulls out like a backup sketch of or pad of paper and is like trying to sketch along with you, and you think that yours came out better, when all is said and done. I rolled for her and she rolled a 4 on the dice, so
Okay.
yeah, the silvered seneschal kind of takes the picture in hand and squints at it. Well, it's not much to go on, but it's something, I suppose. And they kind of pass it off to another scholar who goes running off with the sketch itself. Which brings me to my final point. From the records I've heard of your group, from Legate Kalea, Bird Crusher, I understand the group of you are quite good at getting to the bottom of things. This kidnapper may have escaped, and you may have lost sight of the kidnappee, but I think you would be more suited to pursuing this investigation than my scholars, who are more trained in finding information within a library and writing extensive papers, which is not entirely a useful skill in this regard.
Well,
would you be willing to do such a thing and report back to myself and my team?
We would, of course, have to discuss it with the rest of our party before we make any
Exactly.
decisions. You would allow us at least a day to come to you with our decision?
Very well. Yes, of course. I understand that you must speak with the remaining members of your team. I would still like to meet them either way. So when you come to your decision, if you could bring them with you, I would very much enjoy an opportunity to briefly speak with them, even if you wish to decline.
Would there be like perks or benefits involved here? Like,
Well, I did have one thought in that regard. Of course, I wouldn't want to leave you with no compensation. I believe I could arrange for the legate to provide you with some monetary compensation that would be not at all meager. But I also understand from what the senior steward has told me of your group that the troop of you are headed northward to a keep or some such thing in shoot, what is the name of the state?
Amberhearth?
Ardelir.
Ardelir, yeah. Mhm.
Well, we don't happen to have many sister libraries established in Ardelir yet, considering it is a very new state, and we are looking for opportunities to establish those relationships with cities up there. So a group of adventurers such as yourselves, I'm sure, could benefit from a well-stocked library. No?
Yes. I mean, we have big hearts, but big hearts only take you so far.
Well, in that case, I would consider it a potential option to set up a imperial repository in whatever city you end up settling in up there. Of course, Yurdod and the other couriers ferry books back and forth between this library and other libraries in the empire. So it would be such an arrangement. You could requisition books from here on certain specific topics and have them sent to you so you could do research there.
That sounds like a very enticing offer. And I know that the other members of our parties are very much bookworms, like as am I. So
Very
We will-
beneficial.
we will discuss it with them.
I had hoped that that offer would be enticing to you. So think on it. And as I mentioned, if that offer doesn't suit your fancy, I am certain that Kalea Bird Crusher could either supplement it or, if you're not interested at all, provide a significant sum of gold for a resolution to this case.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Very well. I will take my leave. I will have these metallic sentinels stand down, and the group of you are free to go. And of course, I hope that you enjoy the remainder of RomCon. And the Silvered Seneschal kind of stands up with, it looks like no small amount of effort, kind of leaning on the cane, and makes their way out of the room.
Okay. I was going to say one more thing, but I changed. my
No,
mind.
go ahead. Go ahead. If you want to.
As they're leaving, Ellen will just say, when we do come back with the rest of our party, I would be very much interested to know what you have learned of the League of Terrors.
Frighteningly little, but we can talk about it then.
I look forward to it. And that's all.
Okay. Yeah, and they make their way out of the room.
Would he have known that that's one of the things that we were researching when we came here? Does he make it his
Though
business to know?
No, the Silvered Seneschal, they wouldn't know that. I don't think so. They were just briefed on what Yurdod had conveyed to Ilanis, which was not a lot, and then what they already knew of you from the Horizon Shroud incident. So.
Okay.
Let's hop back over to the other group. Zach, did you make a decision?
First, I want to know what that captain or commander person is doing. Are they just like storming by us and, all business trying to get to the crime scene type of thing? Or is it like...
At first, so for a little while, it seems like the captain is kind of looking at the library from the outside, kind of trying to look to see, like, from a ground vantage point, if, like, there were like loose boards thrown in an explosion or something like that, because this individual doesn't know that, like, a hole was disintegrated in the ceiling. They just know there was damage. So they're kind of walking around the outside of the main building of the library to start with. But then it looks like they're probably going to head inward.
Okay. How many are there?
Of the winged dragonborn, let's say maybe 10 in total.
And they're like,
and then the captain.
Are they Imperial Wardens or are they something
They
else?
don't seem to be wearing they don't seem to be wearing armor that has the Imperial Warden crest on it.
Do I recognize?
You could make a history check if you wanted to.
Sure, I will. I'll use a different dice that's not going to roll a 20.
No, please continue
It
to
rolled a
use your
12.
20
It
dice.
rolled a 12.
Which
Which is 18.
18. So you wouldn't know for sure who these people might be. But knowing your background and where you came from, you would have certainly heard rumors of sort of a group of individuals separate from the Draco Spears, who are said to be sort of like the Emperor's, the Emperor's hands throughout the Empire. They're the kind of the people who enact the Emperor's will itself, right?
Okay.
Because the Emperor himself doesn't often leave the capital, as
Sure.
far as you're aware. That's sort of a rare incident. But he's rumored to have, and it's unconfirmed, but he's
Oh.
rumored to have a group of individuals known as the Scarlet Claw, who are basically like this shadow organization who kind of help him, achieve his goals with that throughout the Empire.
Okay.
And these individuals don't have any kind of like indicating markings or anything like that on their armor to tell you who they are. But it seems like they're being treated as important, and it's weird to you that they don't have any markings, but they're being treated as important, and so that's what comes to your mind.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
apologize for all the buildup, but I'm not going to try and be sneaky with them.
That's okay. That's okay.
I had something planned, and I'm like, well, if they have ties with the Emperor and he, there's some mystery around him. I don't really want to tip my hand a little
But
bit.
how cool would it be if you pulled it off?
I mean, it's either I was gonna give them. Well, I was gonna just in the end. I think I was gonna cast message, and just message
see.
the commander, so then I wouldn't have to do sleight of hand, and I could just be in the crowd somewhere. But yeah. So no.
Okay.
That or if it was blocked, then I guess I would have to. But I don't know. Anyways. No, I'll just continue on.
As they're kind of passing and the group of you are filtering your way out, Esme kind of whispers in your ear from her invisible position, Are you okay? It looked like you were thinking about doing something there.
How does she know that? Anyways.
I rolled an insight check and it was high.
Okay. So I'll kind of just look at her maybe with like mild annoyance and be like, I'm fine, don't worry about it.
Oh, I'm over here actually.
Esme, please, just focus on getting to the spot, okay?
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
All right. She
That's
goes
it.
quiet.
Yeah.
Embers, you hear Esme whisper in your ear now. Is something wrong with Coco? Did I do something? Did I say something? Is there a custom or convention that I overlooked?
I don't know.
He seemed angry at me.
Well, he's kind of hard to read. I don't really know him that well either.
You hear the scratching of a pencil on paper. And the group of you find your way out of the convention and to that square nearby that has a fountain. There's a couple taverns that are on that square, and those seem to be filling up with convention goers who are a little bit upset at the con getting cut off early. And then I guess, the rest of the party would end up joining soon, unless there's something else you guys want to do.
Nope.
Okay. Then the group of you reconvene around the fountain. And Torin says, now that we're out of there, I've got to say, I was happy for another chance to, get a little bit of revenge on that woman for, how things went down with her and me before. But if I'm honest, I have no idea why we were fighting.
I reckon it's a good idea to go back to our hotel, maybe go up into the room, and we need to have a chat about everything. Embers, you can tell your friend to come with, but make sure she stays out of sight.
Oh, I think that she's usually pretty out of sight.
But even more so now.
Embers looks to where she thinks Esme might be.
Over here, other side.
Oh, okay.
You actually hold on. You feel a hand grab yours,
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah,
right here,
I'll squeeze it.
and she just stays holding your hand.
Okay. Well, lead the way.
Is
All right.
anybody else starving?
We can get food back at the hotel, Tuppence. Come on.
You guys want to like lock yourselves in your room and get room service?
Yes.
We could do that.
That would be great.
Okay. Yeah, you can make yourself. You can make your way back to the hotel, no problem.
Making our way.
Make your way. The bar area is open. It seems to be crowding up quickly. Like I mentioned, with congoers disappointed about the swift end, who are trying to find some way to party and save the night. So you probably won't get too much privacy in like the public areas of the hotel this time, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll go up to our room.
Okay. And then, yeah, like I mentioned, you can totally just get room service and have whatever you want brought up here. When you do so, and you open the door, it's actually Tashawn there with kind of like a cart full of the food and a platter with the drinks. Thought I'd bring this up myself just for, Nora's favorites.
Oh, we
Starts
really
handing
appreciate
food
it.
through.
What
You
did
must be
Esme,
so busy down there, though.
What did Esme order? You
Yeah.
ask? Ooh. She probably she'd look at the menu and wouldn't really know any of the dish, like what the dishes mean.
Mhm.
And she would just basically lean over to Embers and go, "So what on here is like really meaty?"
Mm. I think Embers would recommend the aurochs meat is good.
Is it though? Okay, yeah, that's what she'll order then. Like a big auroch steak.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tashawn kind of starts handing this stuff in.
Tuppy will fly over, use Mage Hand, and help while she's stuffing
thank
food
you.
in her face.
That's quite handy. I could do with a few of those when I'm tending bar sometimes, if I'm honest. It gets a little busy. Sometimes I'm a little bit envious of how Nora has managed to establish popularity while maintaining a reasonable clientele base.
She's great.
This
We
was
love
always
her.
my favorite part. The giving people the food and seeing people happy. Anyways, I'll leave you to it.
Good to
Thank
see again.
you.
Thank you.
You're wonderful.
You're all wonderful. And he just kind of closes the door behind him.
I would like to take 10 minutes to ritually cast Detect Magic
Mhm.
in a room, just to make sure that there's nothing here that shouldn't be here.
Yeah, doing like a thorough check for like scrying objects or something like that.
Scrying
Divination
objects or,
spells.
yeah, anything that might indicate that it's not a safe place to talk about stuff.
You do a thorough check over the room. I'm not going to make you roll a check or anything like that. And you find nothing that indicates that you're being magically spied on.
Great. Right. Well, then,
You do, however, notice that when you check the closet and the kind of nest that you made for your dragon egg, it seems to have rolled over a little bit. And you can hear a little bit of a clicking sound on the inside.
Oh, I'll take it out for the conversation. Have it in my lap. Go sit on
You
the bed.
swear you hear like a soft cooing sound on the inside.
Okay, what is that?
Oh, it's just our little messenger drake egg that we got back in Port Horizon Shroud.
You have a messenger drake egg. That is.
Yeah.
You all seem to amaze me more and more. Each time just a new thing happens, you just pull a thing out and you're like, yeah, this is every day. And you all are amazing.
It's so exciting. Oh, can I come see?
Of course. I think she's talking.
It's
Oh
like-
my gosh.
It's a tapping sound on the inside of the egg.
Hi, little one. I can't wait to meet you.
I like drum my fingers on the top in response.
There's
Very
it like
lightly.
stops for a second and then it drums back the same pattern you just drummed.
Hello, Snowdrop. How you doing?
Did we really decide on a name?
I just did.
For a dragon? For a messenger drake?
Tuppence.
Snowdrop?
Do you have
Ellen.
any other suggestions?
I think we could vote.
Okay,
You guys,
I think we're getting
Embers.
off topic here.
Let me just say one more thing, and then we can get back to the topic at hand. Embers, you see that Esme is making notes about Elwyn's behavior with the egg.
Oh, is she visible again?
Yeah, she's visible
Okay.
again.
Okay. I'd lean
But
over
we're
and explain
getting-
to her what a messenger drake is.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. See, I've seen that type of egg before. And yeah, sure, we use some for messengers, but they also, I mean, the eggs are incredibly tasty.
Please, you wouldn't, Esme, would you really? You wouldn't. Say you're joking.
Well, I mean, so I
Ted, don't
I
think
didn't
it's
have time to
Yoki
do
anymore.
a
It's not
lot
Yoki.
of, no. I didn't have time to do a lot of research into the sorts of things that you eat, but I've seen the breakfast menu here, and I understand that you eat eggs from these things called chickens. And I assume it's the same principle. You know, they're
And ducks.
sure. I don't know what a duck is, but
Well, yeah.
I
but
assume it's the
there's
same
a-
principle. You eat it before, you know, the creature within grows too big or anything, you know?
All right, as riveting as this conversation is, I think we're going to have to come back to the task at hand before I lose my appetite. Thank you.
Right. So what is the task at hand?
I will dive into what happened after you guys left and explain about the Silver Seneschal's visits. And I will just say, I did my best not to reveal that we knew anything about Esme. I'm concerned that the Emperor knows who she is and sees her being here as a threat. So if anyone from the Athenaeum knows the truth, if we tell them what we know, that information is going to get back to the Emperor, and who knows what he was going to do when he discovers that she's here. I don't think that it's anything good.
Esme,
I
Esme's,
think that your presence here is a threat to him and his secret.
but I don't understand why that would be. I guess I've seen how he was, you know, in his early time when he was here, and I've kind of seen how he is now. And sure, okay, we have kind of a theory about maybe how he got there, but I just don't understand how he could come to a point where, you know, me being here would be a threat to him. If anything, I mean, sure, I'm not very important back where I'm from, but I would think
Okay.
he'd want to meet me.
Esme, I've seen the lengths that people will go to keep secrets and to protect their information.
Just the camera, if there was a camera for this, would just pan to Coco.
Whose
Well,
eyes
no one
just
else
went the
looks at
size of
him, though.
saucers.
Listeners can't see this, but Zach just like dropped down beneath the camera entirely.
Okay, believe it or not, he's not the only one Elwin is talking about.
Sure, sure.
Look, I don't think that he's a good man. Maybe he was once. I don't think he is now. And I think that after so much time conquering all the lands on this continent and all the war that he's seen, he would not hesitate to kill you to keep the truth about his identity a secret.
Okay, well, you're the experts on pretty much everything going on in this land. You would know the politics at play much better than I would, so I'll trust your opinion on that. It does put us in a bit of a dicey situation, though, because it kind of makes it seem like everybody and their mother is after me.
Yes, it does seem that
She
way.
kind of smiles a little bit.
Well, that's
We might need to stash you here. I'm not sure that you should come out again.
you shouldn't, but I don't know if this is the safest place either.
Well, I
But
mean,
if
I have a
Kashira
place
knows
that I
you're
was
with
hiding
us-
out, which was pretty safe. But if you think here is safer,
Perhaps. I just think you need to stay out of sight. And I don't know if it'll be possible to get to your ship.
Oh, but what you said gave me an idea about that.
Yeah.
So what if we take this job from the Seneschal, and one of the conditions that we give them is that in order to make a thorough investigation and to do the job right, we need unrestricted access to everything in the city. And that would give us cover we could go to the airfield, we could go to,
True. I reckon if we let on that whoever Kashura's target was is involved with the crash, maybe they'd let us investigate what's the word? The remnants of the crash or what have you, the
wreckage.
wreckage and we might even be able to get your friend.
sure. We don't even really have to talk about Esme when it comes to that. We can just say that that we think that the Nautiloid was involved in what happened to the tower, and that's not even really a lie because it was.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, when you
Sorry,
say
I
the
shouldn't have been
Nautiloid-
using that word.
That's okay.
Embers doesn't know what a Nautiloid is. Sorry.
The squid thing.
Yeah, that's
The
good.
squid thing. The spaceship.
Some
Okay,
of us
sure.
call them the tentacle thing.
So that sounds like a good plan to get to the infiltrator. Sure. What are we gonna do about Yerp?
Well, that's what I mean. Maybe it would let us get close to Europe too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how to begin searching. Do you guys have any ideas in that regard? I don't even know where to
Well,
look.
I have a scroll with a spell on it that would help us, but we have to be somewhat in the right neighborhood first before I use it.
We're pretty good at finding information that we need. We just have to.
Well, if we take this job from the Silvered Seneschal and we agree to investigate the attack on the library, then Yurt was part of the spaceship crash, wasn't he? We can always demand to know everything about it, the truth, and
I wonder if Malt's heard any weird rumors about anything weird that's happening from perhaps an employee that came in for a drink.
Great idea.
You want to zoom down that direction?
Okay.
Let's see. Let me pull up my list of rumors from Alt. Okay. So you find Malt seems to be having a very busy night in the tavern because it is just packed. And he is seemingly settled over just a group of con-goers who are still in their cosplays and enjoying now a round of beers. And you find him up in the rafters up there.
Okay, so I'll bring him some sweets from my dinner tray and knock on the rafter and say hello.
Tuppence. Hello. It's kind of you to bring me food like that, but Tashawn does a good job keeping me fed.
Well, that's good to hear.
I suppose I could hoard it for later, though. And he
So
kind of like takes some, he uses his claws and like pulls it over.
So you like this place?
I've always been fond of Tashawn.
Good.
He's very kind, and not many of the froth tankers were kind to Nora for a while there.
Well, it sounds like she kind of overcame it a bit, didn't she? And didn't let it harden her.
No, she is a bright soul, that one.
So it's been really busy. I can't help but wonder if you've, well, we've run into an interesting situation, and I don't know how much you've heard. We trust Malt, right? Let me think.
How much do you trust Malt?
No. So Tubby will tell him about the Kishira coming back because he knows, because he was there with the other attack.
That is worrying.
Yes. So we've been tasked with finding out more about the League of Terrors. So I have 2 questions for you. Have you heard anybody talk about them? And have you also heard where they would take a prisoner if they captured a prisoner?
If the League of Terrors captured a prisoner?
No, if the city, like, well, you know about that weird crash at the Argent.
He nods his head.
If there was a survivor of the crash, if it was a vehicle that did it, we need to know where they would take a survivor.
Malt gets this like toothy grin on his face and he says, I think you're fueling interesting direction for this rumor. A vehicle, you say? Well, I assume this city has a jail. That could be a place to look for a prisoner. But I don't know if they'd take someone there without knowing for sure that this person had done something wrong. So that might be a weaker direction. Do you have any other information about this prisoner that could help direct you?
Just that he's very unusual type of being.
Malt kind of like looks at you, tilts the head to the side as if waiting for more information.
Teppy sighs and just looks at him. Okay, he's an alien. Okay. Shh.
An alien?
Yeah, like from not here.
Well, I would say that there are 2 potential locations one such person might be stashed that I can think of off the top of my head. Star has a presence here, as you know, The Fimir airfield could be a place to look. I understand they headquarter there. Or if there was some interest to studying this individual, they could be somewhere at the Argent Athenaeum. Otherwise, the only other place I can think is if the legate took a personal interest in this individual. They could be hidden somewhere within Fimir Hold, within Mount Scorstein, which is the legate's personal residence.
But have you heard anything weird? You know, anybody talking about something weird that happened?
I've heard a number of weird things. You want to roll your rumor dice?
I bet you have. I bet you have.
Roll a d6.
It's a 6.
A 6. Well, nothing more related to that, I don't think, but I have been hearing whispers about a group forming in this city and others elsewhere, calling themselves the Watchers. I understand they're Warforged, who take their name from their leader, one named Watcher. Apparently, these Warforged never recalled any bits of their past lives, and they're still trying to serve their original purpose. They seem convinced that some threat to this world is imminent, which, knowing what we know about this League of Terrors, perhaps it is. The people who I've heard talking about them, though, tend to think that they are, and I'm quoting here, a paranoid bunch of bolt buckets. So,
Oh, Malt, you always put a smile on my face.
well, I'm happy to do that.
So, anybody talking about the League of Terrors, or have you learned any more?
He kind of
more
shakes
rumors
his
about
head
that?
with an apologetic look in the eyes.
Okay. The Watchers, huh? Okay. Seems like we always find interesting things to do with our time. We can't even go to a rom-com without getting into some deep intrigue.
That's part of your charm, though.
Isn't
And
it?
he starts, despite saying he wasn't hungry, he starts stuffing his face with the pastries and stuff you brought him.
Okay, I'll let you enjoy. Thanks for the info.
Kind of waves a claw at you.
Okay, I'll go back and report what I found out.
I wonder if Soul's part of the Watchers.
Could be.
So I guess while Tumpenson's gone talking to Malt, Coco will speak up and say, well, I know I'm not going to go back to the library. So you can tell the people that we're meeting with that, the other member was injured. They have bed rest or something. But I might have some connections around the city to help with this investigation myself outside of the library. So Esme can come with me tomorrow. And that'll keep her.
I mean,
Sounds like fun.
If you're planning to say something like that, I mean, if they ask me, I can't lie about it. So I'm gonna leave.
Then you don't have
Well-
to answer.
Oh, that's always my go-to tactic. I'm also a terrible liar.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that I'm a terrible liar. I don't like to do it. So I'm gonna go just so they can ask me and I can still be truthful, because it's kind of my thing.
Sure.
Okay.
So yeah. And your dot just kind of splits.
Okay.
Bye. Once he's gone, I'll
Is
look
your
at-
son also gone? Or
Yeah,
does
I
your
think
son
your
stay?
son probably would have, gotten dinner down below and then gone back to Yurdod and your son's room.
Mm.
Yeah, Yurdod would have split from you earlier. Or sorry, your son.
I'll send your dad a message when he's on his way out and just say, sorry, that wasn't meant to make you leave.
No, it's not. Because I can reply to message, right?
Yeah.
You can reply to this message.
It's not that. I just want to. It'll help your plan if I know less.
Okay. So Coco will smile a little bit at that response.
Might be the smartest thing he's ever said.
Yeah, I'm like, that is very intelligent.
I love the fact that Yurdod will probably help you with your plan. He just doesn't want to know the plan. Right?
I mean, if I accidentally run into a situation where, oh no, things are terrible and we have to fight at a moment's notice,
Mm-hmm.
he'll jump in and help protect you. He just doesn't want to be a part of flying.
That's sweet.
No,
and
that's
I like it.
Yeah.
I will, once it's just the seekers left in the room.
And Esme.
And Esme.
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn to Coco and say, I don't know if Coco's the right choice to be Esme's partner tomorrow, if you know what I'm saying. Because you've been seen with us, but if you're trying to go incognito tomorrow, you might want to pick up a new disguise.
Right. And I was going to.
Great.
Hey, when we meet with the Seneschal tomorrow, can we also ask as part of our conditions to get VIP access to the con?
Or that can be arranged.
Yeah.
Isn't that also kind of
Listen.
included with unrestricted access?
Probably.
You for the sake of the investigation, you need to interview Gloriana Hartwood.
Yes, exactly.
We need her autograph, so we
Exactly.
can match it against
Yeah.
handwriting.
Right.
I just want to
Okay.
be clear about this. If we do get involved with this, there is no way we are keeping a low profile in this city. I'm sure that Kalea has already heard we're here.
Yeah, is that something that you and I and Tuppy should take care of tomorrow while Vert and Esme are away? Should we go and like actually meet with Kalea so she doesn't get suspicious?
Well,
So you told us about what was happening with the copper dragonborn man, right? I forgot his
Yeah.
name. Starts with an A.
Not a man, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. So
Ardrix.
Ardrix, thank you. So with that, I guess I'd probably say, well, one way or another, it sounds like we are gonna have dealings with Kalea if we are getting involved with this.
That's what I'm
She's-
trying to say.
Yeah.
If we
She's
get
here.
involved with this, she's already tasked Ardrix and the other stewards with investigating for us, which is a path that I set her on.
Right, and she's
gonna want to meet
also,
with us.
right.
Now that she knows.
to Ember's point, she was flying above the library when we were leaving.
It seems unavoidable, but I don't like it. I don't think that I don't think that we need to share information with her about Esme either.
Oh, I agree. And I think that you and Tuppy should do all the talking.
Well, it's unfortunate because I think the best liar in our group is opting out of meeting with her.
Well,
Looks away.
you can be charming and I can be silly and it'll all work out.
Embers, you see that though she's writing in Draconic, which I don't think you speak, right?
I don't think so.
Esme in her notes seems to be, you can tell pretty much right off the bat what it is. It looks to be like a relationship chart to all these people who are being discussed. And there's like arrows between bubbles and things like that.
Can I see it from where I'm sitting, or is it like just?
Sure, yeah, you could see it. And
Is
there's
everything correct?
well, there's Kalea, and then there's arrows between like Coco and Kalea, and the relationship there is like she has like it just says like strained question mark.
Strained.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll kind of look at that and just kind of turn my head. Like, okay. Whatever. If there's any obvious,
you would also see
yeah.
you would also see on another page it says something like Coco can alter his appearance? Question mark.
Well, she knows that,
Oh, does she?
right?
I don't think she does.
To be
When
fair,
we
I
first-
said disguise himself. I did not say alter his appearance.
So when we first
but
met,
that's what she seems to have assumed.
when we first met, she said she told me, but you aren't also who you appear to be and stuff like that. Like she had like some way to see through my disguise.
Oh yeah, she did say that, didn't she?
Yes.
Didn't she?
That's why we were all staring at each
No,
other.
no, she didn't say that. What she said was you have your secrets too, or something like that.
I'm pretty sure she pointed right at like my disguising myself.
It was because you were getting mad at her for talking for having her secrets, and so she was like, "Look, everyone has secrets." So it was directed at you, but
Okay.
it wasn't. Yeah,
I thought it was her
extra
being like,
poignant
I
because
see
of your
through this.
situation, but
Okay.
it wasn't like that she could see through it.
Okay, that's how I interpreted it. So I'm glad you're
Sorry
telling me
about
that now. No, it's all good. Yeah. And then with like the whole like Night on Dragon thing, I'm like, she knows who I am. I'm like, this is terrible. Anyways, okay. Anyways. Yeah. So where are we at then? So you guys are gonna talk to Kalea tomorrow.
Don't.
Do you want to tomorrow? Is that what you want to do? Or do you want to talk to Ardrix first and have that meeting?
I reckon we need to talk to Ardrix first.
Yeah, that sounds better.
And
I-
in the meantime, what's the verdict? Is it safer here? Like I said, I had a place I was hiding before. There's a lot of tunnels back in the mountains, and some of them go to some very warm and cozy heat vents. So I've been hanging out down there. And I could keep doing that and just meet you tomorrow, if that's preferred. Or I can stay here. Either way.
Kashira knows that Esme is with us, but she doesn't know where we are. We just happened to run into her at the con. I don't think that she's going to come to our room and look for Esme.
I don't think it would be hard for her to find this room. We are not.
I agree.
The other thing I would say is, if I've got all of these relationships down correct, and the Emperor and his people are indeed after me as well, surely they know where you are, and that I
Good
might
point.
be with you.
Yeah, I don't think staying here by yourself is a good idea.
You've convinced me.
Okay, so then I'll go back to my heat vent hideaway for the night. And where should I meet the group of you tomorrow?
I don't know, Vert, where do you want to do this?
Well, I think I'm gonna go a different way than you guys because I'm not gonna go back to the library.
That's what I meant.
Right. So where are you asking where Esme and I should meet?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me think about it for a sec.
Yeah.
Actually, if she just tells me where it is, I can come to her, right?
I mean, she could guide you to like the place back in the, like inside the mountain where she enters the tunnels that lead to the heat vents that she's staying in.
Is it?
You
like,
probably don't want to go down into the heat vents.
right? No,
where
no,
she
no, no,
is.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is it like somewhere nearby, or is it like a?
Yeah, you could get off the train at what is that station's name? Oh, it's just Skorstein Station, which is inside the mountain, and she could meet you there or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. I'll come get you in the morning.
All right, then I'll meet you there. I have to say, thank you all again for all of this. This is when I originally approached you, I didn't think it was going to get this complicated. And I appreciate all of your discretion and caution on my behalf, and of course for your help evading capture earlier, most of all. So
I'm glad they didn't get you to.
Yep, it's been out of this world.
she smiles. Right. Well then, I'll be off. And she goes to the balcony of your room and like stands up on the railing and turns invisible as she leaps off of it.
A la Aladdin.
Yep.
Go jump off a balcony.
But before she goes, she probably would give Embers just a little peck on the cheek and a little bit of a wink, and then she'd go away.
Well, I guess that's all I'm getting out of her tonight, after all.
We really should have gotten 2 rooms.
We really should have.
I have an important question for you.
Hmm.
Did you kick Torin out for this conversation?
He was demanding some answers, right? Before we
Mhm.
left the.
Well, he wasn't demanding, but he
On.
just
He
was
was
stating he was
like-
confused.
He was like, I'm confused.
Yeah. I think we probably didn't, because nobody said that we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was probably there for it.
Then Torin was sitting there pretty quietly the whole time, and after the conversation, he basically like scratches his head and says, "Well, I'm still confused, but I think I understood part of it, so good enough."
What are you confused about, Torin?
I don't understand where Esme's from, or how she can leap from the window and be fine. But I understand we need to protect her from forces within and without the Empire. So
Mhm.
I can accept
Yes.
that mission.
She's very special.
He nods.
Isn't she, Ambers?
She's certainly one of a kind.
Your Dodd, when you went back to your room, your son was there. Oh gosh, what would your son be doing in his spare time? I guess probably just poring over
Yeah, he'd be reading
worn
something
religious texts that you've seen him read a million times.
with a bunch of other scrolls of notes that are like the same thing written over and over on like 3 different pages.
You know what's interesting about this, Dad? Last time I read this passage, I took it an entirely different way, and this time it just seems to resonate completely different. How is that possible?
Well, every day whether you recognize it or not, you learn something new, and those new things can bring to light more information from things you used to know.
He nods. It's funny because I have my notes from last year when I read the book and 5 years ago when I read the book, and it's just different each time.
Well, that's one of life's great mysteries. How you can look at something that is the exact same and get something new every time. It's what makes living longer worth doing.
Kind of nods and thinks about that for a second, and then sort of packs up the scrolls and the book and kind of sits down on the bed cross-legged and turns towards you. I think these are some of the weirdest friends you've ever picked up.
You know, they're definitely more exciting than anybody else that's ever that I've ever stopped to help.
I'd say so. And for what it's worth, I like them.
They're pretty great. I just
The
wish I could
little
be more-
pixie who smells like brownies, she's particularly entertaining.
I can't remember if I told you this or not. She beat me at arm wrestling.
No, she didn't.
She did 100%.
I mean, I think you made a comment about that when I came to join you the first time, but I really didn't. I thought you were joking.
Yeah, no, not joking at all. Like I
Hmm.
was, and not even like she beat me in arm wrestling. Like sometimes
And
I
you
would
were going
do-
easy on her,
Yeah,
right?
no, I was actually trying.
This seems to disturb him on a philosophical level.
Because you just let that be a lesson to you. You can never judge people by their outward appearances.
I mean,
Like
that's
you can never judge a fish by its scales.
true. I mean, this is a lesson I understand, and I thought I did, but I guess not. Wow, beat you. That's impressive.
There's another thing even bigger that I need to tell you about, mostly so you'll understand why even if the convention goes well tomorrow, we might not be able to do the convention together.
Okay.
There
You can see he gets a little concerned and kind of scoots a little closer to you on the bed.
and I kind of swing my arm over him. They're into some big stuff that honestly, it's bigger than I even know, and I'm keeping myself out of the loop on some things to keep us safe. But they're into some big stuff that could get even bigger, and I don't want you to get roped into it because it's dangerous.
I appreciate that. Listen, if things are getting dangerous, maybe I'll skip out on day 2. Maybe I'll just go back to the shrines. If we were going to have to be separate anyways, there's not much point for me. As much as it was fun today, it was really only fun because we were together. These books don't really do much for me, that. But
I know, and I know you were just coming along for me, and I appreciate that. I need to make sure you're safe. It is my job.
Well, okay. I'll steer clear for tomorrow then, and maybe if things are safe for the next day, we can go for the last day together.
Absolutely. But and I'm glad you're just taking this at face value, but just so, because you are so inquisitive and I know you, just so you don't do that thing where you sneak along behind me to learn a thing.
I would
or
never.
sneak along with me to make sure that you're backing me up because you need to make sure I'm okay.
Yeah,
I need
that one
you
I
to
might do.
Yeah, I need you to understand that you cannot do that this time. Because look, aliens exist. I've met one.
Okay, so look, I will accept that the pixie beat you in an arm wrestle, sure, because even if you didn't take it easy on her, I'm sure you underestimated her, and that contributed to it somehow. But Dad, you don't have to listen. If you want me to stay away from this, I'm gonna stay away from this. You don't have to go to. It's fine.
No, you've got to understand, because I would hate to have this tarnish, because in your entire life, I have never lied to you, except that one time about my clubstone score. But anyway, that's a lie I'm still living down. But look, it was only a single and not a double, I know. But look, this is on that kind of scale.
Okay.
Of finding out that people and creatures that are sentient exist on other planets.
Your son like rolls his eyes. Sure, Dad. Sure, they do. I saw the hole in the ceiling. I'll stay away.
All right.
Okay.
I love you, kid.
There's a little bit of he says, he like kind of pulls you in for a hug and says, I love you too, Dad. And there's like a little bit of silence as you two kind of like have that embrace. But when he does pull back, he kind of taps the holy symbol that you've got on you, and says, I'm pretty sure these are good people and protecting them is the right thing to do. So you're doing a good thing, Dad.
I think so too. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go down to the bar for a bit because the whole aliens thing, that's still new to me and I'm wrapping my brain around it. And I'm surprised you're taking it so well. And I'm proud of you for taking it so well. And I walk out.
And I mean, you don't hear this because you've left, but your son just basically mutters, it's because I don't believe you. And when you come back from the bar later in the night, you see that your son has gone to sleep. And the books and things like that are back out on like the room's desk. But the picture that you had the artist draw is pinned up on the wall, kind of above the headboard of your son's bed. And he's just kind of snoring gently. Anything the rest of you want to do tonight?
Eppy's ears were burning, so she's feeling I'm going, what the heck?
There is one thing I was thinking about doing with Embers, that might end up taking a minute. So
Let's do it. Let's do
okay.
it.
Go for it.
I think Embers is going to she's been here before in I forgot the name of the city that we're in. It's been a while.
Fimir.
Fimir,
Yeah.
that's right. I kept wanting to say Sergil, but it's not. It's like the capital of Sergil.
Yes.
Yeah, she's been to Fimir before, and like, in fact, had been to a bunch of bars in the bad parts of Fimir before. I know it's a long shot, but I think she's gonna go and like kind of go around that part of the city and try and see if she can suss out where Kashura has been staying.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. What kind of check would you like to make for that? I'm not quite sure what one it would be.
Investigation, maybe?
Yeah, investigation would work.
Okay. Okay, cool. It's a dirty 10.
Okay. I mean, how do you go about this? Do you like describe Kashura to people or?
Yeah. I think I'd go and say like, hey, have you seen this person walking around, drinking here, et cetera, et cetera.
Let me see what I can do for you.
She also, just to let y'all know, Embers also jumps off the balcony.
Nice. You would, I mean, even with slow fall at this height, you'd take like a negligible amount of falling damage, but you're going to rest soon, so it doesn't matter.
Do you just like walk out and jump off the balcony without saying anything? Like, all right, guys.
Oh, just like, hey, I'll see y'all later.
And then you just poop, and we're.
I'm gonna look at Torin and say, she's pretty special too.
I would agree that pretty much everyone in this group is incredibly special. So no one who you talk to seems to have heard or have any memory of seeing a woman like this staying in any of the sort of seedy locations or anything like that. 10 is kind of average, so I want to give you a little bit of something. What I'll say is you ask around in sort of the area around, where you're staying, and a lot of the people there kind of like who own the establishments don't want to deal with you. But if you talk to like the patrons and things like that, they sort of tell you that no one like that rings a bell. So I'll say you feel pretty confident, at least in the area kind of around Tasha's taproom itself. So that like section of the city, she's probably not staying anywhere in that area. But there is a big remainder of the city where she could potentially be staying. Though that does eliminate a lot of sort of the like inns and taverns and things like that, because the area that Tasha's taproom is in is kind of right inside the gate from like the main road that people come through. So a lot of them are concentrated here. So it's possible that means that she's not staying in the city necessarily, but also it's a pretty big city, so she could be elsewhere, is what I'll say.
Okay.
Anyone else? Anything for tonight?
Yeah. What is Tubby doing for the rest of the night? I have actually 2 quick things, maybe.
Oh, well,
Oh, sorry,
Tubby's-
Nick, was that it? Sorry, I forgot to ask. Was that
no,
the only thing? Okay.
That's how I'm gonna occupy my time tonight.
well,
Okay.
Tubby
go
was
on.
gonna curl up in Embers' fur, but since she's not around, she'll probably just fly over and curl around the dragon egg and mumble names to herself like Jake. Things that rhyme with Drake, like Blake. Stupid Snowdrop. I'm not calling it Snowdrop.
Snowflake?
How about steak?
Steak is
No.
a good name.
Should
how
give
about
a-
Benedict?
What about a draconic name?
Blake the Drake. The Drake. Blake is kind of like Snowflake. I might be alright with Snowflake because it rhymes with Drake. Maybe
Snowblake.
I can talk Owen into that. I'm just mumbling to myself.
Right. Yeah, then I will ask Bert if he wants to join me out on the balcony once people start settling down and going their own way.
Sure.
Y'all also gonna jump off?
Yeah, we're gonna go jump off the balcony too.
Let me check my skills real
No.
quick. Do I have a fly speed? No, not this time.
No,
Nope.
no, not me, not yet. We're still level 4. No, I'll bring him out.
I mean,
and,
I need to reiterate, like you guys are on kind of the top floor of a tall building.
No, it's
So-
fine. We're not gonna jump.
not
off the
gonna jump.
balcony.
I'm trying to find in my notes how many stories this building
Sounds
is.
like 9 or 10, but I could be
No,
wrong.
it's not. Oh, it is a 10-story building.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I mean,
I thought we were on
Embers,
the 9th floor.
Embers has the
maybe
climbing
you are,
speed.
but you're high up. Embers could climb down it and be safe, no problem.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna jump the last bit. Anyways,
Just
go on.
wanted to. I just wanted to check in. Are you all right?
Not really. I think we should not accept this job at all and leave. But
I
Here
was
we are,
thinking
and-
that too.
yeah. So I think that if it becomes more dangerous, or we feel like we are gonna become more in danger, then
I mean, we're already in danger.
right.
Bert.
So yeah, I mean, I already wanted to just, drive or go right past this city and not even go inside. Now it's becoming more apparent that we maybe should have done that. But
I know.
we can give this a shot if everybody wants to, and then if it becomes dangerous, take it from there.
I think that helping Esme is the right thing to do. She has a friend who's captured, but if there was a way to do it without getting entangled with the people in charge, I wish that we could find it.
I mean, we've already, I guess, agreed to meet with those people, so there's no way around that.
I know. What makes you reluctant to meet with the silvered whatever? Nope. What's his name? Nope.
Silvered
Not the
Seneschal?
Seneschal. Yeah, the Seneschal. What makes you so reluctant to meet with the Seneschal?
Because he's reporting directly to Kalea.
And you think that there's a chance he'd recognize you?
And I think that there's a chance that she's going to be there.
I see. Yeah, I reckon that's probably a pretty high chance.
We saw her today. She was descending down.
And I reckon she's there to help the Emperor too. Everything's
Absolutely.
getting all mixed up.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just leave.
As long as everybody agrees to that. But I don't think they will.
Are you going to be okay by yourself tomorrow?
I've been by myself for over 5 years or so, so I think I'll be okay for one more day.
Bert,
I'll be okay.
you can take my familiar with you for a couple hours
I'll think about
if
it.
you want. I don't know how much help it'll be, but
I was going to make a new magic item so we could keep in touch.
see.
If there's an emergency.
all right.
Maybe that'll help us put the situation at ease a little bit if something were to happen.
All right. Do you know what this is? I'm gonna pull out the what was it, the coin or an amulet or something that I got from the
Oh, yeah, from the Weaver.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look.
What was it? It's been so long.
She offers to give you a brooch.
A brooch.
Yep.
Okay.
That is kind of like an 8-pointed star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll take it out. Still wrapped in kind of a handkerchief, but I'll unwrap it a little bit and show it to him. Does this mean anything to you? Do you know what this is?
Ethan, do I know what it is?
Raises eyebrow at DM.
No, I mean it looks like a brooch, unless you've got like some spell or something to check this thing out.
Is my detect magic still active?
Probably
not.
not. It's like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
No. So I'll just say,
Hmm.
I'll just like look at it, hold it, turn it
It's
around,
it's not like a significant symbol or anything.
just shake my head. No, I'm afraid I don't know what this is. But here, I have something for you, and I will produce was this like the part of the ship? I was looking for one of my notes. It's like, is it another
Oh, the
Esme's
octahedron thing?
the octahedron
Yeah.
thing? I'll pull that out and explain where I found it, and I'll point to my head and say, I was told to be very careful and probably not give it to her, but I'm not really sure why. So depending on what you find tomorrow, I'll hand it to you.
Okay, I'll take it.
Now you know what it is and you know what I know about it.
You were told not to give it to her.
I
Is
think so,
trusting
right?
her a bad idea?
It was like just to be careful, right? It was like basically a word of caution from Nylon. She's Esme's not who she seems. She is.
Naiadon didn't trust her because she seemed likely to ally herself with the Emperor.
Yeah.
Based on what she was saying.
That's fair. So he'll shrug and be like, I don't know enough about her, and I don't have enough information to question what's the right course of action. So depending on what you find tomorrow, maybe this will come in handy for you.
What is it?
It's part of her spaceship, right?
It's a little octahedron kind of about the size of a D8. That is made of the same metal as Vert's ship, but instead of Vert's ship, Vert's
Did you
armor.
just spoil something else about Bert's backstory that we didn't know?
Cut it out, cut it
Yeah,
out.
Vert's got a spaceship.
Bert, are you
Vert's
an
from outer
alien
space.
too?
We're cutting that out of the show.
I've
No.
met 2 aliens.
No, you only
Um,
met one.
But unlike the one that you found in Sergil's, the remains of Sergil's hoard, which also that one is bigger, and that one is kind of like cold to the touch constantly. This one is warm to the touch constantly, and when you hold it, you feel kind of like a psychic hum or buzz in your head.
Yeah, I've actually just found my notes. It's like ringing in the ears. In Draconic,
Yeah.
the name Esamir is carved into it.
Because that's her name. All right.
Yeah. So if you decide to cast, like, look for something similar to this, or if you have locate object, locate creature, then
Yeah, both. Yeah.
yeah, then this will probably help you.
All right.
But in any
well,
case, I wasn't planning on giving her tomorrow, so it's gonna do no good for me to hold on to it.
Right. Oh, and you're gonna have her with you.
Right.
I see. All right.
Iodon just kind of rumbles in the back of your brain during this conversation.
Like with disagreement, or like, can I
No,
infer?
just like I see you making a choice and not really making a comment on it one way or another.
Okay.
Well, I won't.
I was being sassy recently. What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
It's going through a phase. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I'll keep this hidden away for a while
Yeah.
until we decide.
Yeah. Maybe it'll have a use, maybe it won't. Maybe we'll give it to her tomorrow, maybe we won't. I don't know.
All right. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go see if Tuppy's asleep yet.
Okay. What time of night is it right now? Is it pretty late?
Yeah, by this point it'd be getting late-ish.
Okay, never mind then.
Go back inside.
Yeah.
Poke Tuppy. Poke, poke.
What's up?
Are you sleeping?
Think of a new name?
Look, that can be. We can wait until it's hatched. I think we don't even know what color it's going to be, do we?
I see you're upset. I'm sorry. What's up?
Oh no, it's Can I sit with you for a second?
Of course.
I don't have nice long white fur like Amber's, but I do have my fluffy cloak. It has a fur collar if you'd like to.
Aw. Think so. Okay.
So I didn't mention this to anyone, but when we were on the road on the way up here, I was visited by an entity. She claimed to call herself the Weaver. And she gave me
Weaver.
this,
Oh.
and I'll show you the brooch. You have a way of understanding things when you look at them sometimes, and I was wondering maybe if you knew anything about this or if you could find out.
Okay. Oh, give me a minute. Okay, so Tuppy will do her little spell that she does to
Okay.
get a good vibe.
Yeah, you cast your spell,
Hums a
you play
little.
the little song.
Mhm.
You learn that this item is basically when it's created, whoever created it basically assign a person to it, and if this person is given this item, the item will essentially compel them to truthfully answer the next question that is posed to them.
Okay. It's kind of like a kind of like a truth beacon. If you give it to someone, they have to tell the truth.
It only works with the person who the creator specifies when creating the thing. So like if it were handed to Elwyn and Elwyn wasn't the person specified by the creator, it wouldn't apply to Elwyn. But if Elwyn then handed it to the person specified by the creator, that person would be compelled to answer truthfully whatever is asked next.
See.
So it sounds like it was made for someone in particular.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I just don't know if I should use it or not.
Can't help you with that. Sorry.
All right. I don't think any of us have much experience when it comes to supernatural creatures and gods and demigods and that kind of thing. Sorry, I didn't tell you about it before. I didn't want to worry anybody.
Yeah, I understand. Everybody's got a lot to deal with. We deal with it in our own way.
How are you, by the way?
Holding up. Freaked
You've had
out a little bit
a
about what
lot
we
of
found
stuff
out, right?
happening. Yeah.
Aren't you? About what we found out? That we're not alone.
I thought being from somewhere like the Feywild, it would be less of a surprise to you than to any of us.
Well, I tried to go that route at first, remember, when we found out. But the more I think about it, the more amazing it is, because how many more beings are around that we'll get to meet?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm gonna have some really weird dreams tonight. I can already tell. So
All right.
if you don't mind, I'm gonna get to them. I'm pretty tired,
Right.
but hopefully I
you.
was a little bit of help to you.
You were quite a bit of help. Thank you.
All right. All right.
Good night, Tuppy.
Well, as the group of you find your rest, contrary to Tuppence's, assertion that she's going to have weird dreams, the dreams that all of you find are no weirder than normal. No one has any strange visions or visitations or anything like that. You awake the next morning, refreshed, long rested. However, Yerdod, in the morning, as you're sort of like groggily yawning and getting up, you hear a commotion in the hallways, sort of outside your room.
Huh. And before even throwing on all my armor or everything, just in like a long white nightshirt.
Nice.
And
I was going to ask, what are your Dod's pajamas?
I imagine your Dodd is in that long white nightshirt. Like we're talking full Dickensian, like long stocking cap.
Nice.
And he just kind of pokes his head out the door.
You see like a procession of people kind of going up the stairs. And you recognize you recognize two figures among them, I would say. One of them is Tashawn. Another one you recognize because she is the legate of this state. Tall Goliath woman with one arm and bald, but like navy blue tattoos kind of all over her skin. And then the rest of the people with them are sort of those like winged dragonborn and the one dragonborn in like full plate. And Tashawn is basically like shouting at the one in full plate, like, I told you they're my customers and they deserve their privacy. I'm not going to allow you to barge in on them like this. And Legate Kalea is basically like on the other side of the plated figure and just basically going, listen, this man is right. This is unacceptable. These people are heroes for what they did down in Port Horizon Shroud. You can't barge in on them like this. And the figure just kind of stops for a second where they're standing and turns towards Kalea with like, a voice muffled by the faceplate of the armor and just says, I can and I will, for it is the will of Emperor Stratos. And continues with the Dragonborn marching up the stairs.
I hate that your dad would do this, but he would absolutely do this as Tashawn is still in sight.
Mm-hmm.
But just, hey, morning, Tasha. You need the services of a cleric for anything.
Tasha just looks back at you. Your dad, no, I'm fine. Oh gosh, they're getting ahead. I've got to go.
Sorry,
and
just
rushes
trying
up.
to help. And I'll go back in.
Okay.
And immediately put on all my gear because I know they're talking about the crew.
Yeah. The one thing I will say before we end tonight's episode on that note is, can you roll an insight check for me?
Yeah. Of course, this is the one that gets stuck in the tower after playing all day, whatever. That is a... Dear God, your dad's good at insight. I love that.
I love that because I want to give you information.
That's a 22.
Okay. The information that you have that no one else in the party seems to have is that based on this interaction, you see that Kalea looks at the armored individual with fury in her eyes. She hates this person.
Ooh.
Nobody else in the party knows that. We will end as there is a forceful knock on your guys' door. And we'll pick up there next week. So thank you all for playing. Thank you to those of you who came to watch. Zach, I apologize in advance for springing this. This was like the cliffhanger I wanted to end on to begin with. And I saw you making plans to like avoid these people and I felt bad. But anyways, yeah, Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be back. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Bye.
See ya.
Night.